Well, all right. I'll prove it. What'd you do today, Phil?
Held the Austin Atheist Up in the Homeless giveaway downtown.
That's right. And what'd you do last night, Phil?
I was here with many other people. Let me not stress this enough. The volunteers that came out today and yesterday, almost 19 other people here yesterday to help pack and sort items here on my birthday. As a matter of fact, I got a cake.
Yeah, on your birthday. On your birthday, you were preparing for today's giveaway. Have you also been helping register people to vote?
We actually did.
Oh, yeah. When's the last time you built a ramp?
Was it a week?
A week ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the world's greatest volunteer.
Something like that.
Well, happy belated birthday. I'm so glad we get to do the show this week.
Yeah.
We are here at the Atheist Community of Austin. This is we're sponsored by the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of church and state. You can find out more about the ACA at atheist-community.org. We'll skip past the regular announcement stuff. You have things that we need to announce real quick?
Yes.
Let's do it.
And so I will put this out there for, it's actually going to be on next week on the 14th, right after the Atheist Experience goes on. It's going to be the live premiere of Truth Wanted, which is a new show that's being produced out of the Atheist Community of Austin. So you can look forward to that right after this show ends, or very close.
Next week.
This is on next week after the show.
So this is something that I'm going to keep kind of hitting home about, because for years it was, the Atheist Experience and then and nonprofits, and then we added in godless bitches, and then came like Talk Heathen and Preaching Humanist and secular parenting and secular sexuality and all of these things. Basically, what the ACA is doing, as I pointed out previously, is building an actual fucking network to deal with the entire person. So it's not just about arguing about God or whatever. That way when we get calls in with people looking for advice, we may actually have resources in-house that we can direct people to say, you know what, we love your call. But if you call into the Atheist Experience to tell us how cool you thought the Atheist Experience was, maybe there's a show where it's better for you to visit that way. And so as they continue building these up, today's going to be a normal show. We'll probably run a little long. We'll probably do some kind of after show. Next Sunday, we'll try to finish exactly on time so that Truth Wanted can premiere. And then I think that's how we're basically going to kind of keep this trend going. Every time we've got a new offering, we're going to probably bring it in on Sunday and kind of roll over audiences that way. Build a network. You got new content coming all the time from a great many people, all of whom were eager to participate in the, what I would say is newly revitalized Atheist Community of Austin. There's people sitting out there clapping and cheering, and we're doing good stuff. There was some kind of pasta plate selling thing today, but we no longer go out to dinner after the show, and that's the thing that I wanted to remind people.
Which is
we do the show here at the ACA Library, the ACA Free Thought Library, 1507 West Koenig Lane. And if you want to come down and watch the show, you can do that, just like the people on the other side of the glass now. If you want to come down and hang out, the building is open 7 days a week from 10 in the morning till 9 p.m. And after the show's over today, we'll be sitting around talking, who knows, perhaps arguing, maybe laughing, telling jokes, eating pasta, and doing fun stuff. It's what we do.
Yeah. And to go on your point of the amount of shows that are out there and so much different content that's being produced. Like, there's a lot of people that call the shows that have questions about, how to raise their children, or dealing with marriages when you have multiple, you have partners that have differing religious beliefs, and how that effect has. But we have a show that encompasses, that may be better equipped to suit those questions, Parenting Beyond Belief.
Yes, I said secular parenting. I meant Parenting Beyond Belief.
Yeah, so that's one of our shows here. So that's something that you can also call into to kind of explore those topics, and not necessarily be like, usually we're on the time constraints. We're trying to get to a lot of calls here on the show, but they may be able to take a little more time and delve further into those problems and use their own experience of the host on that show to really expound on that. And so there's a lot of content that's out there. So you just find your fill out there, that's for sure. But as always, there's no, I haven't scheduled any other volunteer events here in Austin this month. I'm not sure if I'm going to, because of the Halloween on the very end. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that or not. But I did want to give a shout out to all the people, as I mentioned earlier, that came out to volunteer yesterday. I had no idea that there would be that many people that actually showed up. I figured it was going to last maybe an hour and a half. It took maybe 30 minutes at the most, and we were done, and we just kind of chilled out, ate cake, and kind of hung out a little bit before people headed on out. But today at the giveaway, we had 35 volunteers total that came out, and so it was just, it was a massive turnout. We served 235 people or so out there on today, and it was just amazing. But we've never had that many volunteers, some of which actually came to the packing and sorting as well and made their way over there as well. And it was maybe 33% was their first time ever going to one of those. And so they were just like, I'm not sure what to do. And so we're calming them down. Okay, just get your hands in the bin, you know, set the children up, you know, and this is how we do things. And so it was an awesome time.
This is how we do it.
Y'all missed it before this show started.
Yeah.
All of the
I was losing my mind.
If you were live in the studio audience, you would have caught all of the shenanigans.
I can do T Swift and Eminem.
that happened
Take
prior
some of
to
that.
this show.
So quick question. On those Sunday mornings, I've gone out on occasion with Humanists at Work, Atheists Helping Homeless. But there's also a bunch of church groups that are out there as well.
Yes, there are.
And a lot of them are doing great work. There's things I learned from some of them. There was one of the ministries specifically focused on giving people pedicures, because if you're homeless, your feet are, and I thought it was great that they actually took a scientific fact of what people needed that they may not be aware of what they needed and went with it. How many volunteers do they have on average?
Maybe it's maybe between 8 to 10 or something. There's
something
along those lines.
Did we have more volunteers than any of the other religious organizations that were out there? Is that the case?
I don't know about that.
Maybe.
We were pretty up there. We were pretty up there.
It's an entirely irrelevant point, but I asked the question specifically because people are often surprised. You know, I remember when Joe Zemecki and others started doing this. One of the first questions everybody got was, "Well, which church are you with?" And the standing joke was, you know, like, we're not with the church. We just wanted you to have a sandwich without having to listen to a sermon too. You know, we were here to feed you. I realize that, you know, they're trying to feed other parts of you that they think are real. So it doesn't matter. But one of the things that's important is to note that, yes, in fact, there are charity efforts in the secular community. We haven't had the privileged position that churches have had to, you know, for centuries now, to build up. But we are building, and there's more and more people getting involved, and you can get involved too. And you can just contact Phil because he knows everything about all this stuff.
Oh yeah, all those events, everything that we do here, you know, all of the shows, all of the volunteer events, whether it's last minute or we plan, you know, 4 weeks ahead, will always be posted on Facebook or Meetup to make sure that everyone is as well informed as they can be and can participate when they can, because not everyone can make it out to all events. There's too much stuff that's happening to expect.
That's the true across the board. I mean, there are conventions that I didn't like. There's a convention I would have gone to that I didn't hear about until just the other day. And so there's so much stuff going on, both with regard to charitable efforts and, you know, community service efforts and just broader community efforts, and you can't possibly keep up with all of it. The best thing you can do is be connected with communities in your area and with the Atheist Community of Austin. Get connected with some national groups on social media so that you can at least have the best chance to be as informed as possible about what's going on. But I think one of the best things you can actually do is not just sit back at home and interact on social media, but come down to the building or come down and meet up with other people, because that connection makes sure that now you have a chance to get the information that they got that you didn't get.
Y'all missed it.
I showed up yesterday just because, and there was volunteer work to be done here.
Yeah, that was random. You just randomly showed up in there.
Although to be fair, I did not participate in the volunteer work because something else came up, but I would have.
He was there right before things started and then had to scoot out.
Anyway, let's stop talking about how lazy I am, and we'll get on to some calls.
Sure, let's do it.
So we've got